we know. I'm imagining that they're just going to rinse and repeat the same draft. I assumed that there was a bug with Champ Select and that everything that we saw locked in before will have to be locked in once again. So there's the Amumu, the Tristana will come on through. And it was Renekton, Nidalee.
You know, I'm kind of happy. I'm happy that it was way too late for it to be a problem with the Amumu, but it's kind of cool that we're seeing those locked in and those being stuck with. So just to remind you, we got up to the Gragas, which was picked. It was the first picked after the next ban phase. So we'll see OMG ban Yuumi and Braum. V5 will take away Akali and Blanc, and then we're left with that Gragas ban, which means the side of V5. So the two major things is obviously where's the Renekton going? I expect they're putting the Renekton top, but they can't flex it. And also, what support are they going to pair? Talking about defensive play when you're up against this Tristana or Amumu, which we expect to be playing very aggressive, Thresh is a really
Ah.
to pair up. In terms of the picks in the mid lane, they did want the Sion.
So I've just received a message saying that apparently Abel was unable to lock in the correct champion. There was an issue with the champ select. So they've remade the champ select up to that pick. So Abel going with the Sion. Apparently they wanted the Sion the whole time. And it will be answered with an Irelia coming out from V5. And V5 hadn't locked anything in to answer the Gragas, so I think it's the official saying it's fine to just go back. So Leona. Leona's going to be the final lock-in in the bottom lane. This does look like it could be Renekton mid, it could be Irelia mid. Honestly, until we get in game, these are kind of just swappable.
Yeah, they can definitely change depending on the matchup. Now, the interesting thing that actually Sion makes a lot more interesting than the Gragas, because he's still similar role, tanky, can sort of self-sufficient, but we actually saw a few strategies come out with lane swaps with the Sion a lot sooner ago than you think, right? Everyone thinks of lane swaps as being eons ago, and they were, but I've seen strategies where a Sion will go in suicide to a jungle camp to clear it, while his bot lane go up top lane at the start of the game, and so in that situation the Sion can fare a lot better. He's also harder to dive. That could be a strategy to implement here. Sion also can function similarly to the Shen in that he's actually I've seen a strategy countless times before where the Sion will stand in the bot lane brush, charge up the Q at level 1 and slam them. So I expect more shenanigans from OMG in this game, and honestly I'm ready for it.
You're expecting more shenanigans? Well, it's Sion this time, my friends. So no Shen to be seen. Yeah, I don't know. I have no idea what to expect from Shanji at this point. This Sion locked in this time with a Tristana Amumu bottom lane. OMG are rapidly becoming one of my favorite teams to watch in the LPL. Like, how can you not enjoy what this team is bringing to the table? And V5, suddenly it feels like have their work cut out for them. Like, this is not a team that I was expecting to... Like, I expected this to be a good series. I expected this to be relatively close. I didn't expect to be coming into game 2 thinking, man, V5, how are you going to get a win?
And the critical thing, the most important thing that you're forgetting here, Munch, is what is Corki?
It's a yodel.
He's a yodel. That's 3 yodels. It's a yodel comp.
They're going to get a new champion every single round. That's bad news for V5. They're going to quickly get outnumbered on this one. Just pray that you don't go up against the 3-star Vigor. Nemesis is lurking around the corner, and he's ready to throw a million W's. Anyway, moving away from TFT, we're going to head on to Summoner's Rift for this one, as is customary in the LPL. It's V5 against OMG. It's game number 2. Game number 1 was absolutely crazy. It was one of my favorite games of the entire split so far, honestly. Pure craziness from start to finish. And we'll see if game number 2 can live up to that one at all. Shanji is going to be up at the top side of the map this time around.
Yeah, and he also has Grasp, which kind of implies he's going to be spending a lot more time in lane. Honestly, the Sion is completely fine to sort of match up. It's one of the better champions. Things like Sion, things like the Gragas, a lot of CC, harder to dive, and critically, a good amount of wave clear, right? Sion can deal with waves quite effectively, and that's important if you're on the weak side. And here, we have that Renekton in the mid lane, so a lot of pressure onto Creme. Corki is a pretty safe pick, though, right? I feel like if you're going to have a champion going into a Renekton Nidalee, Corki with cleanse in mid lane should hold up, but look, they're going for the invade. Remember, Amumu, very good level 1, 2 charges on that bandage toss.
It certainly is. And the invade, it's going to be chickens sat as the target for the time being. OMG trying to make their way in, but V5 will not just give up the chickens without a fight here. That's 10 gold for the ward, and it's a smite from Karsa. Chickens secured. now.
What's going
Cold and
on?
Abel trying to make their way across the bottom lane, but they might just get caught here. Abel has to start with the rocket jump, which actually sucks for the laning phase. Oh, wait.
Nope. Yeah, this is the strategy. So this is the plan. What you do on the Sion is like you suicide your camp, you kill it with a passive. You just come up top lane, and honestly, it's probably better now than it used to be, because before, one of the downsides is you have to burn TP. But in the current meta, with a new TP, who cares, right? Before, if your top laner has TP disadvantage, it can be a bad news for the bot lane. Now it's irrelevant. The problem is, right, here's the big downside. This strategy was conditional on Aki getting the enemy red buff. Yeah. So all this means now is there's no red buff for Aki.
Oh, big all in on ppgod at the bottom lane. The 2v2 kill right off the bat. Level 2 not respected by V5. And OMG obliterate them again.
Yeah, and remember, this is not an Aftershock Leona. Doesn't have the W available. You're just a normal champ, right? You're not this immortal goddess who cannot die. And OMG very much prove it. Able to take down the Leona and find an advantage. We expected aggression from this bot lane. I don't think ppgod expected it so soon.
No, they are delivering as well. Abel and Cole just going in. And ppgod, has to be said, just not respectful enough. Like, rule number 1 of the bottom lane. Are they level 2 and you're not? Okay, back away. You're not going to win the fight. And he takes the brunt of that one. It cost his flash as well. It was only the Ignite used by Cold and Abel. They didn't need anything else. But I want to return to the conversation of the junglers here because, you know, the 2v2 is exciting and everything. But as you're saying before, Aki has actually kind of been ruined a bit by Shanji here with him taking that red buff. But all things considered, Aki's still managed to get ahead in CS.
Yeah, so Karsa hasn't actually done his red buff yet. I think obviously it's not a great buff to do when you don't have smite and you don't have assistance. But we'll talk about that in a little bit. Got a replay of this, which I believe is going to be the all-in. And I think the thing that came out here, which was really solid from the Tristana, was the fact that we saw 3 rocket jumps. This is actually very early, right?
They started the replay quite early. We're just watching them lane for a while.
Yeah, sure, why not?
There we go, level 2 and the all-in.
Okay, any second now. Okay.
We're just watching Abel's stream.
Right? And like you get the 1 rocket jump, the fully stacked bomb comes in, then the second one, and you also get the 2 bandage toss from the Amumu. So that was a very long replay for very little gameplay. We don't do replays.
This cast is a struggle. This cast is a struggle.
We just show the whole game for the start. Anytime we want to show something.
Well, you got to have the context, you know. The people at home were wondering whether or not Abel got every CS leading up to the all-in. Well, the answer is he did. Great job, Abel. We just wanted to add that extra context. That's why you love to watch the LPL, right? We're always there, giving you that little extra, maybe too much context, you know, just the right amount of too much context. Anyway, I'm kind of lost in where we are in the game at this point, Aux, because there's just been so much craziness. Like, let's just reset expectations. Let's talk compositions. Let's talk big picture here. Who are you expecting to be on the front foot in the early game? Who should be making plays? Apparently, it's Cold and Aki again. They're going to move towards the bottom. I don't get time to talk, right? Yeah. Maybe you do, because it's not going to work out. And Karsa's here, actually. And it's going to be Aki that's checking down right at the start of the play. Cold now being chased away. As Abel actually jumps forward. He's a madman. Abel... he thought that he was a Corki for a second. Had to Valkyrie in.
It's the modern strategy, right? That's what we've developed over Chinese New Year. Is the jump in, flash out strategy.
If you are a Yordle and you have a W mobility skill, you gotta go in. That's just the rules. It's just how it is.
Okay, well, I feel like there is room for OMG to be aggressive around the bot lane, but V5 have a Nidalee. They have great setup in every single lane, right? Renekton Nidalee, we've talked about the combo. Top lane, you know, it's not the greatest setup, but you still have that stun and bot, of course. The slow from the Zeri, the stuns from the Leona. This really should be V5 able to take control in this early game. and they need to, because my concern is as the game goes later, they have this amazing front line combined with two strong scaling carries, and now Karsa is here.
So is Aki, though, and Rich has not got very much HP to work with. If that knock-up lands, I think Shanji just ults him, but instead Rich is going to go back in. Shanji waiting for the ult. Actually, Shanji doesn't have his ult available. He's just trying to bait on this one, but Rookie's here too. This is a 2v3. This is not winnable for Aki and Shanji. They're both just going to go down. They thought they were baiting, but they were the baited. And now, after they both fall, this is just going to be huge damage onto the tower. Herald's coming up in 40 seconds as well.
I feel like Aki just kind of wished he never walked out the brush, just like started a recall and went. Yeah. I mean, the call must have come in, right? Hey guys, big crocodile missing from the mid lane. Watch out. But they just over.
What? I don't know how that hit, but Photic's in trouble, and it's actually cold. Goes down to the... What is happening, Aux? What is this fiesta?
Game, man?
Abel is not having a good time. Cold's not having a good time. ppgod re-engages. There's the root. Photic trying to catch up. Finally finishes the job. I mean, look, it's a 2v2 kill for Photic and ppgod, but I'm not sure we should praise, maybe more criticize OMG.
What is going on? Honestly, I am... Yeah.
I don't know.
Like, at least
hit me with the
lane,
analysis, Aux.
At least the top lane, I can see justification for the play, right? I'm like, okay, you're trying to bait the 2v2, but like, look mid on the mini-map. Wave pushed in, big crocodile moving, and they just wait like 30 seconds. This isn't a short passage of play, right? Rookie probably got a coffee on the way here, stopped off, picked up the newspaper, still has time to make it. I'm just not sure what the game plan was. But even this...
services. Goes
even
to
this,
the Creme,
like...
gets a sausage roll.
Honestly, that'd be worth it if he did.
It would. Cold's in trouble again. He's actually going to walk away with his life, at least for the time being, as it's just a pure fiesta now. Karsa throwing out some javelins. Creme's hit level 6, so he could throw some rockets as well. V5 just grouped up, and they're still going on this one. They're happy to keep this going for a long while. Aki forced to flash away. And that should be enough to secure the Herald, but Photic's not happy with just the Herald by the looks of things. As he goes for a couple more autos, it will be V5 winning out the passage of play.
Yeah, I mean, V5 are really far ahead right now. OMG felt like we got a package. That means we can fight, but even that isn't enough to mitigate the pressure coming through. Cold is so squishy on this Amumu, right? He is just getting absolutely demolished the second he steps up. And this Nidalee is extremely strong already. 1,000 gold lead. Has the Sork shoes for that pen, so package will be picked up, won't be used. And it will be V5 securing that Herald and pocket, which is much needed, right? They are a composition who wants to snowball and find momentum. So it's good to see them being proactive around the Herald this early.
Rookie just punishing Creme, who wants to push that wave in, will not allow it to happen. Abel grabbed himself a turret plate. And this is not as close as the first game was. This time, there's a 3,000, 2,000 gold lead between the two teams, and it's V5 taking control. Karsa is huge on this Nidalee. Let's be honest, over the years, we've seen plenty of Karsa's Nidalee. This is not a pick that he's new to. And when he's got a Renekton in one lane and an Irelia in the other, he's got plenty of opportunities to use this Nidalee pick for his own good. It feels like OMG. I mean, I like the cheesy strats. I like the 2v2 at the start, but... since that point, I don't know what... I can't explain some of the decisions they've been making.
I just find it so hilarious when the bandage toss comes out from Cold, and it's just like, Jesus, take the wheel. He's going.
That's the thing. It's like, Amumu and Xin Zhao are the same breed, you know? Once you go in, you're in. There is no way out again. Like, you've committed at that point, so...
it's not the hokey pokey, right?
It really isn't. You cannot turn around. I was expecting you to keep talking there. I'm not gonna lie. I thought you were taking over. But...
I thought you were gonna give me your own rendition of the hokey pokey. So.
Oh, you want me to do the whole song? Oh well.
Remember in the LPL we covered the whole thing, right? Like the replay. Gotta give you.
That was the whole hokey pokey. It really was. Rich taking a couple of time shots from this top side. He's out of mana, so I don't think he can do much. On this cast is getting out of control. This has been quite silly from start to end. It was that first game. The first game being like 40 minutes with no kills. That used all of my brain power. And now this game is happening. Rookie Dominus off to the side. Creme has the Valkyrie though. Can he escape? Gets stunned up by the W. But the cleanse keeps him safe.
Yeah, don't think Rookie necessarily needed to pop the Dominus there, but I mean, they burn the cleanse, so that means they could potentially look for a follow-up. Still flash available to Creme, and Cold is going to move over to help cover, and then Corki just, yeah, does that, and the wave is gone. But now, storming down.
It's going to be Shanji, goes a little wide. Tokyo Drift drops the thumbs up and walks away. You know, say what you like about Shanji. I love this guy. The thumbs up there. He knows what happened. He knows who he is. He's comfortable.
The timing on his Sion ult needs work, but his comedic timing is honestly
It's immaculate. It's immaculate. Oh, dear. I'm enjoying this game so very much. This has been my favorite series the entire split, and it's not even close, honestly. Karsa with a good spear on the top side. Rich trying to pressure. We've got ppgod here as well, but it looks like, for the time being, it's not going to happen.
I can only wonder what happened during Chinese New Year for OMG, like who they were scrimming against, or like, like how they
were scrimming against 2018 IG or someone, like.
How they came up with such dark tech. And, you know, fair enough, game one, I completely praised it, but man, it's been an interesting one here. I just found it hilarious, the self-red buff denial from Shanji and Cold's. Oh.
It's the kind of stuff that it takes like 20 minutes of mathematics to figure out whether it's actually worth it or not. It's just oh, I don't know. I'm enjoying it, though. I'm enjoying it, that's for sure. We got a Prowler's Claw Renekton in the mid lane. Rookie is not messing about today. Is Photic trying to get some damage onto Abel under the tower. ppgod is ready to die, but the minions are gone. That means it's a little difficult. Abel, can you buffer the W? ppgod trying to wait it out, and with Cold here, he's all right.
But it does mean pressure on this tower, right? Top lane's going pretty well for Rich as the Blade of the Rune King. Oh, ow. Blade of the Rune King available for Rich, so he's pressuring that. Rookie really, especially with the Prowler's Claw, increasing your engage range makes things very difficult for Creme, and it means that Karsa can just lean to any lane he wants, apply pressure, zone them out, and Photic is just shredding this tower. Yeah. We'll get the first tower blood. We'll get a ton of gold, obviously just past 14 minutes, so very much a fed Zeri. 1,800 gold lead in favor in the AD carries. Over 1,000 gold lead top, over 1,000 gold lead in the jungle. V5 are massively ahead.
Yeah, I mean, that jungle difference especially, I think, is terrifying. Because, like, Sion, you expect him to fall behind an Irelia in gold. That's not that crazy. But Karsa is terrifying. And even in a 1v1, I'm pretty sure Karsa wins that one against the Xin Zhao at this point, if he can land the spear beforehand. But with, I mean, the damage that we've just seen the spears doing over towards Abel as well. In these fights, if Renekton gets a stun, if Rich gets a stun, if ppgod gets... There's so many stuns for Karsa to land the spear off of. You're just going to one-shot them with the Rocket Bell.
Yeah, makes it scary. And I think V5 need to keep continuing this pressure. You have the second Herald spawning up soon. Pretty big one. If you want to break mid-tier 1, very useful. But honestly, I feel like it's already on half HP, and V5 are so far ahead, they may not even need it for that tower. But regardless, they will start setting up. Package has been picked up by Creme, so OMG at least toying with the idea of contesting this one. And remember, Rich has no teleport in his bot lane. Yeah. So V5 might have to back off.
OMG are going to commit. They are 5,000 gold down at the start of this fight, and in comes Shanji straight into the wall. Full 369 on that one. It's 3k on their Herald. They are desperate to commit to this one. They get the Herald, but at what cost? Here comes the fight as Creme flashes over the wall. It's going to be one as Cold goes down. Support for support. In comes Rich, but whiffs the ulti on this one. And OMG standing strong, standing as a group. But here comes Photic to clean house, zapping over the wall. Izaki falls as well. There's a double for the Zeri, and there's no way you're landing a knock-up onto someone as quick as this. Photic with the triple.
Just felt like the perfect team fight for V5. Yes, it started well for OMG, but you have the Renekton in the mix, right? Everyone flashes over the wall. Renekton flashes after in the mix of 4. And for Photic in particular, Zeri in the jungle, able to dash over the walls, constantly just charging up those stacks in the extended fight. Now, Cold?
I mean, not exactly doing crazy damage to Cold, is he?
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, Amumu has a lot of armor and also has that passive reduction to any physical damage. So maybe that was the strategy into the Zeri, like damage reduction there. It hasn't worked. But yeah, so we see...
I mean, it worked in the early 2v2. Like,
true.
It was comes in. When they started running it, that was the problem. Anyway,
and bear in mind, that's all of the mobility used by Creme to get over there. Now, Abel will also jump over the wall. We have Aki flashing over like everyone over the wall, and then Rookie just follows them, and Photic is there chasing them down. And like now, no one can get away from this crocodile, and Zeri is in fine position to chase down. So as much as the fight started well, Photic and Rookie were in perfect position to carry this fight, and so much was expended for that strong early start from OMG. They had no gas left in the tank.
I just love that Ultra Shock laser, the fade away over the shoulder, blasts it over the wall, turns and starts autoing the next person and gets that first kill. It was so beautiful to watch. And I feel like Photic is having a whale of a time in this game. And rightly so, because he has so much freedom in these fights. Like, unless Cold is on top of him, really nobody can stop him just taking over the fights. And now, with 2 items already, we're starting to get to a really scary point in the game for OMG.
Yeah, it's a little bit worrying. And the thing is, like, their front to back is strong, right? We talked a bit about that, how having the super tank Sion and the Xin Zhao in position, it just doesn't really add up in this scenario where you just have so little damage. It's actually an AD carry Corki. I cannot remember the last time I saw this Corki build. I feel like we've just had only poke Corki throughout.
Yeah.
And I understand the thought process here, right? Wanting to cut through the tankier front line and also the shield for safety. But it means you don't have that super long range poke option. It does make things a little bit scary.
Yeah, the thing is, there's not really a big tank line. It's just ppgod with his W. I mean, the Renekton's going lethality. Irelia doesn't have hysterics or anything. Like, I feel like maybe the poke build would have actually just been better in this kind of game. But, you know, it is what it is. Here we go. Solar Flare in the mid lane. And Cold is gone. Aki's next on the chopping block as Photic is happy to just sit inside of his ult, jumps over the wall, dashes out to safety. Abel now the target as he re-engages the fight here. Rich kills Creme, and it's Shanji against the world, and the world will win. V5 were not happy with game number 1. They've come out blasting in game 2.
They just don't give them any room to breathe. Beautiful, engage, and Rich felt like the tower just wasn't even opting to do damage to him at that point. So hard for them to deal with this massive goal discrepancy. It's 9,000 at less than 20 minutes, and they can just dive at a moment's notice. Everyone on V5 has a way of closing the distance, and they all use them there just to make life hell for these backliners. Additional engage is good in the cold. They jump in. And the thing is, Aki, right? When everyone's short range, your ult is kind of irrelevant, right? You see Photic in range of it. And then here, Rich comes in, dives in a tower, and it just feels like the tower damage is optional. And he chose not to take any at this point. Just healing up with Triumph.
Abel's like, me too, me too. I want some swords.
I want to be melee range up in Irelia. Oh, you choose your fate.
I don't know what it is, but the Valkyries today, the rocket jumps today, I don't know. It's been magical. This has been a magical series. At this point, I sort of just want OMG to go next so we can start game 3 of the series, because this is feeling completely
I want to see what they come up with in game 3, honestly. Right? Yeah, it's got to be something good, right? Saving it to last. Maybe it's like the secret weapon. We didn't want to bring this out if it was a 2-0.
Yeah.
Their hand has been forced. But really, the V5 is kind of just dotting the I's, crossing the T's at this point. Oh, Rookie.
No. Creme. The shield bow actually working out beautifully there. Keeps him alive from that one. Rookie can't quite find the all-in. It means he has to back away from this one. But the rest of OMG also have to back away because they don't have a mid laner to defend with. Rookie moves in alongside Photic. And the siege will continue. ppgod's got to be careful. Because OMG should be able to defend this one, but in the meantime, Rich is pushing on the other side of the map.
Oh, there he comes.
Here comes Shanji. Hits the wall. Has Shanji hit an ult yet?
No, yeah. Not that we've seen on camera, right? Not that we've seen on camera.
We're going to get a pro view starting at 5 minutes in a second. Just show the Shanji ult.
Starts from when he hits level 6 and just shows the whole game from there on.
Oh dear. This has been a game and a half. Rich is pushing. Rich is pushing on the other side of the map. That's exciting. That's good League of Legends right there. Rookie getting chased out in the mid lane. Flashes away from the knock-up as the rest of OMG moving over. Package available for Creme. Maybe this is an opportunity. OMG have caught V5 out of position. This is the chance. Shutdown comes on through. Karsa falls as well. ppgod's gone. And into the Hex Gate. How did he get away with that? Rookie
Zhao.
somehow gets in the Hex Gate, but it will be the Baron going the way of OMG.
And that's huge, right? V5 have all this aggression, this strong, proactive early composition. In the later stages, how is it going to hold up compared to a Sion, a super tank, to a Corki, the strongest scaling champs in the game? And when you give over a ton of shutdowns, when you give over a Baron and an objective bounty, things are going to be pretty scary now for V5. They're still ahead, don't get me wrong, right? There is still a substantial lead, but a lot of that gap has been closed in that one passage of play.
Aux, this is what happens when a stoppable force meets a movable object. This series happens.
Absolutely.
It's an absolute disaster for V5. And I just don't really know why they're trying to make this play against the package as well. It's
Yeah, I mean, they could have just waited out the package comfortably. They're trying to look for this flank, and it's a great call from Aki just to dive in. You know you have backup here because Creme has the package. And fortunately, Rookie just get away, but it's still a massive win for the side of OMG. A lot of gold in pocket. Now, this is a little bit rough. Obviously, Shanji has essentially infinite scaling, gets free HP, but Blade of the Rune King is percentage HP, so being a little bit painful in that side wave for the time being.
Actually going to be caught out by ppgod here. OMG's still massively behind, remember. The Baron is only going to do so much to help them stay in this game, as Rich trying to get damage onto this tower, but won't be able to do it for the time being. And here we go, he's hitting ulti. Shanji lands the ult, flashes out immediately. He's out of there.
That is the theme of today. You just go in and flash instantly out. I feel like that's just what we've had so many of those coming through. But yeah, he did hit one at least, so I guess that's where the replay would stop. If we got it from when he hit level 6. But I think it's kind of showing that despite the misplay from V5, they're still ahead, right? They're still super strong. They're still scary. OMG just need time. They need to sort things out. And now the big concern is in 3 minutes, we have that dragon, which would be sold for V5. So that might be the point where they're going to really struggle. And that's kind of where V5 hand will be forced. They need to win that fight, and that might be enough to take the game. Another mistake like that fight before may end up putting things too far in the other direction. V5 are chasing them through here, but they will just back off with the red buff.
Oh, solar flare's huge. Creme has to use the cleanse just to get himself out to safety, but crucially, he does get out to safety. And this Baron is actually doing a great job of stopping the push, stopping V5 being able to use the gold lead that they found for themselves. They're still 7,000 gold up, and Karsa apparently just cannot miss a javelin. They are heat-seeking. He's like the counter Yankos at this point. But regardless, OMG holding on.
Yeah, and they keep trying to apply the pressure from side to side, get towers. They will get this one, and with that, all towers outside of OMG's base are down. But still, this game's been stalled out substantially, because it's not just the fact that a lot of gold was given to OMG and a Baron. By OMG getting the Baron, that means V5 weren't able to. So definitely has stalled things out quite significantly. And now it's 2 minutes until that dragon. That is going to be the pivotal point, because I feel like especially champions like Zeri, especially when the whole goal of V5 is get on the enemy backline, makes things a lot easier when you have, you know, a free slow just added onto your abilities. A spear hit, target slowed, allows you to close the distance a lot easier.
Yeah, it certainly does. Sets you up to, honestly, with how much damage the spears are doing as well, sets you up to just one shot whoever you manage to hit with the combo, because Karsa can then just fly in, hit the Q, finish the job. And I want to point something out crucially. Karsa has died a couple of times. He was on a crazy spree earlier on. He'd already finished a Morello a while ago. He's lost all of those stacks that he had. I don't know how many stacks he was on.
Said Morello, you mean Magi?
Sorry, I mean Soul Stealer. The other book. Yeah. The other book. Yeah, he's on a 0 stack Soul Stealer. It's not a pretty sight. This is a guy that used to play with Knight, you know. He learned that if you're playing AP, you pick it up every single game. And it's not paid off this time.
It's an investment, right? You don't sell at the bottom. You hold on to it until you get it to the top, right? If he sells it now, then he's just got to accept that he's lost out. So I honestly respect it coming out from Karsa. But obviously not giving a ton of power right now. Now 50 seconds on that dragon. And this is where it gets difficult, right? OMG don't have any towers outside their base. So they have so much ground to cover to get over to that dragon. And because the Hex Gates are in play, it does make it a bit easier, but V5 aren't giving them any room. Every time you walk forwards into a brush, into the fog of war, the potential for one of those Nidalee spears is so threatening. But now they have the package, which is a great way of forcing through.
Photic's in trouble, has to flash away. Shanji, that was actually a really good ult. Unironically, no laughter this time. Shanji forcing the flash out from Photic. Drake up in 15 seconds. This would be soul for V5. We saw last game what Zeri can do when she's got the Hextech soul. It ain't pretty for Zeri's enemies. ppgod playing front line here. Will get knocked up as Shanji doing the exact same on the other side. V5 will not let their ground be taken for the time being. They retreat to the Drake. That's going to be Cold going in, trying to start the fight for themselves, but V5 still just such a huge gold lead. Photic untouched as he just starts shredding through the team. Cold barely gets out with his life here, and Shanji burns away. It's top laner for top laner, though. We're still going on this one. OMG cannot afford to let this Drake go. Through the Hex Gate we go. Creme the first one on the scene. The rest of the squad joining him. They're going to find ppgod. Turns gold and keeps stuff alive. And now Abel on the front line, trying to survive. Jumps out with his life somehow. And now being chased down the Renekton into the team as they're being slowly but surely finished off. Karsa trying to compete in the Olympics, but the javelin goes wide. It doesn't matter, though, because that'll be V5 with the Drake.
Mad one from OMG, trying to contest through the Hex Gate. Very scary, very dicey, but they managed to get away for the most part. They will not secure the dragon. Soul for V5. It's a pretty big buff. The 50 true damage, well, at least when you max level, but also the AoE slow. And look at the replay. So the problem is, right, the poke isn't really sticking because of the Nidalee heals, but they go for this big engage on the Irelia, layer the package on top. The Amumu ult is huge, but in the longer fight, you can see Photic ramping up, so they know they cannot continue while she's overcharged. And then this bold decision.
I don't think he meant to click that.
I don't know if he did or not, but I respect the hustle of them all following.
Yeah, the team is there with him. I think they've actually just lost the game, though. I don't know why you are where you are right now. Cold goes down, and OMG just going to get chased down with their... Look at the Hex Soul. It's just tearing them apart. Lightning everywhere with a Zeri on top of it. Rich just chasing them down. Turns golden. Creme will try and finish the job, but the W's too good. And that's 2 more kills on top of everything else. 22-8 as V5 just decimate OMG in game 2.
Yeah, definitely was that big mistake that gave OMG Baron, but the goal lead, even with that, is still too big for OMG to surpass. Definitely some mistakes as well coming out, but V5 will eventually close this one out.
Creme gonna get slowed here. Karsa might be able to close the gap on that one. Bit of lightning flying around. Zeri with the Hex Soul, just so difficult to deal with. In they go to buy time. Rich just trying to keep the enemies away from his team, who are shredding the base as we speak. Cold moves in, does what he can, but he's taken down by Karsa. Nexus Bear, couple more autos will finish the job. Can they do it? The answer is yes. 24-9, and it's a win for V5. 1 apiece as we go to 3 games.
That was a game and a half, right? Bit of a fiesta, let's be honest. And the strategy from OMG, not as thought out as game 1, potentially. Definitely backfired after they weren't able to steal away the red buff. But either way, V5, a very aggressive